So you've got to stop fooling yourself to think that it's going to be easier the longer you leave it. The longer you leave it, the more you start procrastinating.
You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass.
Yo, what up? Be okay in this motherfucker. What your man's doing is not enough. Let's start the video.
Point in their life. So it's literally someone you know procrastinates, and that someone could be you. Even the cat down the road procrastinates from time to time, deep divers. Is there something that you want to do, but you're always leaving it till the last moment? And when the last moment comes, you're like, I'll do it tomorrow, right? It's so easy to procrastinate. You know why? Because there are so many distractions around us. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello there? And you ain't even had breakfast yet, deep divers. But as soon as you wake up, you're being distracted, and now you're procrastinating. And you see, first and foremost, why do you procrastinate when you know it's bad? Like sometimes, deep divers, you know it's bad. You know that if you finish that, what you want to do, you're going to feel good. But you're like, I'm going to procrastinate. Do you know, deep divers, there is a Harvard study that shows 94% of people who procrastinate are unhappy? Okay, so we know that procrastination affects our mood. So why do we procrastinate in the first place? Well, let me tell you why. Because people who procrastinate often find what they have to do very stressful. So guess what happens? They avoid it. That's right, deep divers, they avoid it like the plague. They're like, no, I'm not going to do that. No.
Wrong answer. So you are addicted to procrastination because you have been designed to, because you've been programmed to, right? Most people like watching sports, right? And so they got that fourth quarter mindset. They get excited when there's only so much time on the clock, right? And so what happens? You hear a bang, right? And the crowd goes wild, right? So there's so much energy that's being projected outward into the world when there's only 1 second left on the clock. And that's what you addicted to. So subconsciously, you correlate procrastination with success. So you produce this adrenaline rush in the body, right, that you're not normally used to, and you get addicted to the adrenaline rush. People are too fearful to, go skydiving or BMX riding in the mountains or taking a hike. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to produce an adrenaline rush that they're unfamiliar with. But because you're familiar with the NBA or the NFL or entertainment in general, when they come out last minute and the crowd goes wild, right? You produce the same reality in your mind. So when you do something at the last second, you immediately, and the crowd goes wild inside of your mind. Procrastination. You're addicted to the adrenaline rush of procrastination. Congratulations.
But right now, I'm never ever going to do it, right? So we procrastinate when we find something very stressful. We also procrastinate when something is very difficult, when we don't know how to do something, when we feel helpless, right? So I want to get one thing straight. We often think that people who procrastinate are just plain lazy. No, nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, many people who procrastinate are not lazy. They're just overwhelmed. That's right. They are just overwhelmed because they feel like it's an insurmountable task right in front of them and they don't know how to do it.
No, and no. It's not because you don't know how to do it. It's because you never put a plan in motion, right? He who fails to plan, plans to fail. And so, because your plan did not include variables or hurdles or trials and tribulations, and you so addicted to Instagram and looking at the perfection of it, right? When you get into a situation where it's time for you to work and stop procrastinating, right? You don't know how to handle it because you're so used to looking at perfection, and nobody has told you it's going to take this, this, and that to get there. And so all you have seen was somebody show you how they got from the bottom and went to the top, and not showed you the in between. And that's the problem. You're looking for somebody to hold your hand and walk you through your entire process. But that's the thing, fam. You and your experience is not going to be the same as somebody else and their motherfucking experience. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the problem. So ultimately, you feel helpless because you never wanted to experience it for yourself. You was waiting to see somebody else's experience and then vicariously live through that before you actually, took your first fucking step. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you feel helpless. You've always wanted a secret crutch to hold you up. Understand what I'm saying? Somebody is not going to hold your hand the entire time. Ain't no superhero finna drop down from the sky. Jesus is not finna drop down from the sky and hold your hand and walk you through everything in life. It's shit in life you got to do and experience for your motherfucking self. You see what I'm saying? So you cannot rely on somebody or some information to get you through this process, right? Because the way that they did it may not work for you. You feel what I'm saying?
I've learned the art of just tuning into what I'm doing. I've learned the art of just doing one thing at a time. You know who procrastinates the most, deep divers, apart from the cat down the road? Multitaskers. You're starting this here and then starting that there and starting this over there and doing nothing.
So is you gonna stop spoon feeding these lies, allegedly? Because you're talking about multitaskers don't get anything done. My thing is this, dog. When you work in a job and they make you multitask, don't you get it done? It's because you're not motivated enough to get it done. You see what I'm saying? You're not getting paid to do it. This is why you don't get it done. You understand what I'm saying? If the payout is small, you're not going to be motivated to do it. There is no motivation inside of these people. And this is why they can't multitask. But they can show multitask if you put a dollar bill in front of their face. Come on, man. Stop playing. Also, if you're doing something for somebody else, you're not going to have the motivation you would have as if you were doing it for yourself. My thing is this. Your body is already multitasking all the time. That don't even make sense. The heart is always pumping. The mind is always thinking, you know what I'm saying? And you always breathing. So what are you talking about? You can't multitask. You were designed to multitask. You're just used to distractions and addicted to distractions. So this was another lie.
Here, it doesn't even exist. There is only right now. If you don't do it right now, what makes you think you're going to do it tomorrow? Slow motion this side. So you've got to stop fooling yourself to think that it's going to be easier the longer you leave it. No, the longer you leave it, the harder it becomes. The longer you leave it, the more the work piles up. The longer you leave it, the more you start procrastinating.
Now watch his procrastination because he not finna say nothing. Watch the air upstairs. This nigga don't got nothing to say. This that I can't believe what I just said face.
With everything.
So you telling me if I procrastinate, that's gonna stop my procrastination?
So you've got to stop fooling yourself to think that it's going to be easier the longer you leave it. The longer you leave it, the more you start procrastinating.
You're a dumbass. You're a dumbass.
You start procrastinating with everything. So you've got to realize that if you procrastinate with one thing, You're delaying that. Now you're going to be delaying something else.
So basically, what you just said was null and void, because you just told me if I procrastinate, then I will get shit done. But at the same time, you told me if I procrastinate, I'm not going to get shit. I'm just not understanding that, dog.